and welcome to a very special episode of Football United. I'm Khuri Irani. Now to recap the first leg of the second semi-final that was played between Hyderabad FC and ATK Mohun Bagan, let's remind you that Hyderabad FC won that tie 3-1. So they go into the second leg with a 2-goal cushion and everything to play for ATK Mohun Bagan. Let's welcome our experts Paul Masefield and Pradyum Reddy. Welcome, gentlemen. Prad, how do you think the two teams are going to be approaching the second leg, which is on the 16th of March?
It's only a 2-goal cushion, and you always say it's a dangerous scoreline sometimes. If it's half-time and you're 2-0 up, and someone comes in the second half and scores 1-2-1, the nerves start affecting you, don't they? So I think that's what it's going to be like in that second leg, because if they score early, ATK Mohun Bagan, all of a sudden it changes the whole game plan of what Hyderabad will have to come out and do. And I don't think you can sit back for 90 minutes and say we're going to try and defend and not concede two.
No, it's going to be tense. Very, very tense, I think, between the two sides, particularly for ATK Mohun Bagan. The way they finished that first leg, if they turn around and start a game like that where they go after it and go and chase that goal, then I think it really, really will apply that pressure onto Hyderabad. But Hyderabad will have the ability to hit on the counter-attack. And we saw in that first leg, if they go 1-0 down, it doesn't bother them. They don't get phased. They're the comeback kings. They make sure that they get points in the bag when it was in the league season. This way, they went on to score 3 goals and you know, comfortably hold on to that towards the end of the game, apart from the last 5-10 minutes where ATK Mohun Bagan should really have scored at least 1, if not 2 more goals.
But I think if Hyderabad, in that second leg, if they can score early, 15-20 minutes of the game they score, and all of a sudden that's a 3-goal cushion, you could see possibly heads dropping, and then you could get that confidence. You can see them holding on to a 3-goal cushion, but 2 is never enough.
All right, so now before we start speculating more about the second leg, let's revisit everything that happened in the first leg. It all actually started with ATK Mohun Bagan being in the lead, courtesy a Roy Krishna goal, and we expected him to come to the party. We know that he's a big match player, and he did. Mace, what a fantastic goal by Roy Krishna.
Yeah, it was, but at the end of the day, I mean, they were playing him out wide on the right. So, you know, we thought that we would see him central. It was Williams that played there. But, you know, you've got to turn around and have a look at that. They had that first 20-25 minutes, ATK Mohun Bagan, and they deservedly took the lead. We thought that they were going to build on that, but then it was Hyderabad that paid them back. Yeah,
and this is the reason why we actually referred to Hyderabad FC as the comeback kings, because they've made the most comebacks this season, and when it really counts, right in the first leg of the semi-final, they did, courtesy Bartholomew Ogbeche, who now has equaled Koro's record of 18 goals in a single season. Well, he's done great, Mace. We expected Bart to do that. Hyderabad were not going to sit back.
No, they weren't going to sit back. They were going to come out. You know what you've got here. You've got someone who wears his heart on his sleeve, who is an absolute top draw pro. You've got somebody who knows where the back of the net is. 18 goals now this season, Brad. But a leader on and off the field. He is so important in that dressing room, probably a little bit more than on the pitch. But when he's needed on the pitch, he's that big that he delivers.
Yeah, I could actually hear him, like, coaching the players out of possession as well, telling them, you know, keep them outside, right in the 85th, 86th minute of the game. And the difference, you know, you look at scoring charts, you'll see a Koro over there. For me, those are irrelevant, because at the end of the day, what matters is trophies. How many did Koro win? None in the end, right? He didn't pick up that trophy over there.
You know, just to add to that as well, Prad, because we could hear him just barking orders at everyone. He was chasing back as well and closing down, you know, hustling on the sidelines and really getting stuck in. And that, if you're playing in that team and you've got someone of Bart's age, someone of Bart's stature, someone who's been there and done it all, played in World Cup finals, and you know, you see him doing that, it spurs you on. Absolutely. And that's exactly what happened with that Hyderabad side. Particularly all these younger players are going, oh my God, if he's doing it, I'd better do it. Otherwise, you know, the gaffer might be hopping mad, as Bart said during his interview there after winning the Hero of the Match.
Yeah, and that's what we said always, that it's not just what Ogbeche does on the pitch, even off the pitch. We were talking about his influence towards the Indian players. It's so good to see the way he's inspired these youngsters. Think of Yasir. For the first time ever, he got a goal and an assist in the very same game. It's his first goal of the season, and it comes in a semi-final. Great favour for another Indian lad to step up, Brad.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've seen Manola, I think, all credit to him. You judge coaches sometimes just only on the silverware that they win sometimes, but I think he is a winner already in everyone's eyes. One is, you've made all the neutrals actually become Hyderabad fans last season and again continuing this season. You look at the players that he's producing for the national team, all the Indian players, that's how you judge some of these. Every Indian player that's played under him has improved. You look at Sanal, how much he's improved. And even some of the senior pros, you look at Kattimani. I thought Kattimani was absolutely brilliant in the first semi-final. And if you can improve every level of Indian player, whether it's the young ones, whether it's experienced ones, you're helping uplift Indian football. And I think all credit to Manolo Marquez for that. And I think he's done a terrific job.
And apart from just getting that goal for Yasir, I mean, it just boosted confidence that much. He provided the assist for Severio's goal.
Yeah, I mean, he took his goal extremely well, didn't he? Just slotted it into that far corner and then just whipped in a quality corner. We turn around and we talk about the quality of delivery into the box. Again, we can look at the defending, you can look at the mismatch, you can look at who's marking who, you can point fingers. They don't attack the ball, they get punished. That's exactly what happened to ATK Mohun Bagan. But you've got to put the ball in there. And that's exactly what Yasir did. He put it on a plate. It's one off the training ground when Severio has just bent round the back and just come in, totally waltzed into that 6-yard box almost and just headed it past the keeper. And you turn around and say, that's shocking defending. It's poor from ATK Mohun Bagan. But again, it's that quality of delivery. You put that quality of delivery of the ball into the box, you're going to get results.
And because of that, now ATK Mohun Bagan are trailing by 2 goals going into the second leg. And if they do make it to the finals, it'll be the first time a team has kind of overcome that deficit. What adds to that also is one of the constants, especially in the back line, is Tiri. Now, Mace, he's a veteran in the Hero Indian Super League. With him missing out, probably missing out because that injury was absolutely ugly.
It did look ugly. I mean, it's a stupid, rash challenge as well, you know, defensively. I mean, Tiri has to deal with that. When that ball's played through, Tiri's coming onto it, yet you turn around and you have a look at what happened. His own defender's just gone sliding on the floor and just absolutely banjoed him. I mean, it's a poor decision from him. You've got to let Tiri deal with that ball. If Tiri deals with that ball, rather than you going sliding in, then you've got him for that second leg. That could really, really hurt and affect ATK Mohun Bagan going into this second leg, because without Tiri, they don't have that rock at the back.
It's not just the player on the field, it's the lead, you know, the leadership that he brings and just the shape and organization, because minutes later, after he came off from that corner, you could see just it was disorganized from that corner kick. You had people pointing around who's picking up who, and they were just, it just looked chaos. I think that's going to be a bigger loss. But I think in terms of personnel, look, McHugh can slot in there easily. Preetham Kotal can slot in there easily. That's a championship team. They've got 2 good players in every single position. So they've got the personnel there for him to pick a better lineup than he picked today and go on and win it.
Another thing that Bartek Becci said in his post-match interview, he said at half-time, although things were evenly balanced between the 2 teams, Manolo Marquez was absolutely hopping mad, if I may quote him. Prad, what did Hyderabad FC do differently in the second half? Especially what did ATK Mohun Bagan, do you think, did wrong in the second half?
Well, I think they just weren't at it in terms of Hyderabad FC in the first half. I mean, they were fortunate to go in level pegging with that goal from a set piece, because an open play, that was the only shot on target, that header from a set piece. They'd created nothing much in open play. They just couldn't break them down. The 2 strikers were isolated. The support wasn't there. So it's about being brave, and you could see the likes of Yasir and Aniket Jadhav. They wanted to help defensively, but they weren't picking the moments to go forward and join them in attack. And I think second half they came and they got the balance right, the balance in attacking and the balance in making sure you come back and defend. And that's when you find, when they got that balance right, and I think Bob mentioned it as well, you can't give teams too much respect. If you sit back, any team is just going to dominate the possession, dominate the game. So when they came out and showed that, hang on, we can go toe-to-toe with you, and goals give you confidence. As soon as they got that, then it was a different game completely.
Yeah, it was. It really, really was, because ATK Mohun Bagan started that second half and you thought, OK, we're in for a proper second half here. They're going to go and get 2, 3, 4. But all of a sudden, you know, that change was made. For me, that was the key moment in the game when they brought Williams off, because he played as that focal point. We all thought Krishna was going to play as the number 9. He didn't. He stuck him out wide. And that, for me, upset the balance, because then you've got to shift players around and you don't have that running, that work rate of Williams. And that's, for me, when Hyderabad kicked in. Then those defensive mistakes and errors that we saw, they managed to get their couple of goals. And as it was then, they were hanging on towards the end, don't get me wrong. I mean, they hit the crossbar, ATK Mohun Bagan. They were putting some decent balls into the box, but they just couldn't get that final touch. Wasn't to be their day. But who's to say the second leg, that might be their day. If they can convert all the chances that they created in the first leg in the second leg and even put half of them away, there's 6, 7, 8 goals there. So there is a chance.
Yeah, we saw such contrasting emotions and such contrasting pressures coming in from both the camps at the end of the first leg. Let's hear now from both the camps and how they reacted after that first leg of the second semi-final.
Today we have had 2 mistakes. We lose the focus. At the end, change the score. At the end, it's thinking in Wednesday, that's all. No exist more plans like this.
Well, and you talked about the focus, but you made that change very, very early in the second 45 minutes when it was 1-1, bringing Williams off. Did that affect the rhythm of the team?
No, the problems all the time repeat is the injuries, the players are not ready, the substitution sometimes is for the physical condition. Okay, I'm very disappointed because Willie is not ready 100%, but he tried to do everything. The staff tried to help him, but you know, when there exist problems in hamstrings, it's difficult.
Well, and will we see a more expansive ATK Mohun Bagan like that finished the game as opposed to one that started the game, having to chase those 2 goals in the second leg?
You know, it's not so easy, but our job is to prepare the team, and thinking is possible. Everything in football is possible. Some teams in the finals of the Champions League change the score in the last minute. Why not for us? Our mentality is fighting until the last minute. 100% I trust in this team. 100% I trust in these players. 100% the next Wednesday we change the score.
I think our first half was not very bad, but I think that we didn't take the ball. We didn't. Okay, only good positioning, defending, and waiting. They score 1-0, and practically in the last minute in the first half we equalized in set pieces. That today was our main strength. But of course, I was not happy in the half time because you are playing against a very good team. If you look the bench of ATK today, is maybe you can be scared. But of course you cannot play only to defend. You have to be brave, and if you lose, you lose. But you have to be brave. I think at least in the second half, the team in some moments till the 3-1, we took the ball and more or less we tried to play our style when ATK allow us. I think that for us 3-1 is a great score, but of course that we have 90 or 95 or I don't know how many minutes. Very difficult on 16.
All right, so now we're looking forward to the second leg. So, Brad, how should ATK Mohun Bagan approach that second leg? Would it be okay to say that they have no option but to go all out attack? They have to, first of all, cover up the deficit and then go ahead and win it?
No, I think you can't go all out attack, because if you go from the get-go that way and they hit you on the counter-attack, which Hyderabad are very, very capable of doing, it's game over. I think 3-goal deficit will be very difficult. As I said, it's only a 2-goal deficit. So even if you're going deep into the game, 70th minute, 75th minute, you suddenly nick one. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be dominating the game. It could be a set piece. It could be something controversial, like a penalty or something. At that stage now, when there's only 1 goal left to go in, anything can happen. You saw it towards the end of the game today when they hit the post. If that goes in, changes the complexion. And that nerve start playing on the younger Hyderabad players as opposed to these players. And then when it goes into extra time, the team that's come back from almost what's impossible, a 2-0 deficit, has that sort of confidence thinking, well, you know, we've got nothing to lose over here. Whereas the team that's given up that will think, have we blown our chance today? So I think 2 goals can be done.
It can be done in the 89th minute. They can get a goal in the 89th minute, and then what was it Sir Alex Ferguson said? Squeaky bum time. And Prady's absolutely spot on.
Another thing that's intriguing for me is Joel Kinesi wasn't there today. He should be available for that second leg. So if they need something at the end, if it's cagey right towards the end, can he come on and just get the game that sort of kills the tie off? Or, and I think one of the most astute signings that we kept saying is Hassa Kamara. Now people are wondering when they sign him, thinking, why is Hyderabad signing another? They got Shah, why do they need him? Now people can see how astute that was.
Brad, if I were to ask you, if in case Tiri is not available for ATK Mohun Bagan, which are the 4 foreigners you think would be best suited in the lineup, and where would you place them?
I think you've got to look at the best balance that they'll probably have, and I think you've got to play McHugh at the back just to give them a bit more experience at the back, alongside maybe Pradyum Kotal over there. And then you can't leave Yoni Kauko out, can you, mate? I mean, he's integral. And I think what I'd like to see is Williams and Krishna playing centrally and closer together. Because I think to get the best out of Krishna, you've got to play him down the middle. It's proven time and time again in this league, and he's done it. And, you know, Williams is so good, and they know each other's game so well that they combine so well together. So play those 2 together. And obviously, if you need some changes later on in the game, maybe, you know, obviously you have the luxury of bringing Bumus on. Maybe you sacrifice at the back. You put the young kid at the back.
Yeah, I'd play Summit Ratty, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, the emerging player a couple of seasons ago, as we've mentioned, I think he's got quality, and I can't understand why he hasn't played for 12 months. I'd play McHugh in the middle of the park. I'd play Cowcold just in front of him. I'd play Williams on the left. And I would stick Roy straight down the middle. That's what I would do, and I would give Manvir a start because I thought he looked lively when he came on. So those are the four I think that would both play, but we're pretty much agreed with the four players.
Wow, that's a first. What else is a first? What else is a first is if ATK Mohun Bagan do overturn that 2-goal deficit, it'll be the first time a team has done that in the knockout phases. Now, Mace, we keep saying that it's an uphill task. How does Juan Ferrando motivate the team that we can still do it? We can score 3.
You just stick on the board, we're losing by 2 goals. Go out there and get it done. It's now about man management. This tactics, to an extent, can go out of the window a little bit because they do have the personnel, they do have the players with the ability to kill people and to kill games and to go and score goals. So what you've got to do is you've got to go and put your arm around each individual player at training. The ones that you need to give a little bit of a rocket to, you give a bit of a rocket to. The ones you need to cajole, come on, we're expecting a bit more from you. We know that we've got 2 goals to get. And that man management is absolutely critical and vital if they're to get back in this tie. It's down to one person now to get them through to the final. It's Juan Ferrando.
Yeah, but also Juan Ferrando having that squad depth. Manolo Marquez also said in his post-match interview after the first leg that just their bench itself could be intimidating. Imagine the players that he puts out. And Manolo Marquez also knows that he can't sit back. They don't have the luxury or the comfort that, okay, we've already made it. He has 1 foot through in. But Prad, what does he do with Hyderabad FC?
I think they've just got to approach it in a very similar way to the way they did today. They defended well as a team, and when they got their opportunities, they attacked. And I think if they go in there with the mindset saying, we still have to score, I think you've got to make sure you tell your players that we need to score today. Because I think if they score 1, I think they're going to win it. But if you go with a mindset saying we've got to protect a 2-goal lead, that can cause you problems. So I think knowing Manolo and the way he's not going to sit back and try and protect a 2-0 lead. The lineup will give it away. I mean, if he starts with Zhao as well as Hasa Kamara from the start, there's a lot of other aspects as well which we might not be privy to in terms of how he's going to play. But I think mentality-wise, they've got what it takes to go all the way.
Yes, we will continue talking about the second semi-final over 2 legs. But first, it's time for a short break on Football United. Stay with us. Welcome back to Football United. I'm Khuri Irani, and today we're previewing the second leg of the second semi-final between Hyderabad FC and ATK Mohun Bagan. But this would be the perfect time to remind all the fans that after 230 matches in the Hero Indian Super League, the fans will be back in the stands in the finals. It's truly going to be a finals for the fans.
The fans are the ones who make the game, and we just try to perform for them. So I think it's great news. It's amazing, and I can't wait.
It's a very welcoming news to hear that. I hope that we get to play in front of the crowd once again, because that's what the beauty of football is, to celebrate with the fans, to be with the fans, to suffer together, to enjoy together, to celebrate together. It adds a different dynamics to the game, and sometimes when you're tired, when you need that little bit of extra push, little bit of noise, sound, cheering, from the fans, which we really missed in the last 2 seasons. I hope we get to play the final game. We go to the finals and play in front of our amazing fans, crowds. That will be amazing.
Fans back in the stadium is a very good news for us. They are our 12th man. I always said that after 85, 86 minutes, the cheering, it's important for us.
Without fans, football तो पसंद नहीं किसी को, क्योंकि जब fans आते हैं हम लोग भी extra motivated रहते हैं fans. Like जैसे for example जमशेदपुर में जब हम खेलते हैं, इतने लोग आते हैं, cheer करते हैं हमारे, तो already जो एक boost होता है हमको ज़्यादा रखता है body में. तो अगर final में fans आ रहे हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है हमारे सबके लिए, football के लिए. आपको जब कोई बाहर से चीयर कर रहा है, हजारों लोग, और उनके लिए परफॉर्म करना, तो एक अलग सा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ जाता है कि हाँ भाई हमें फैंस के लिए खेलना है, क्लब के लिए खेलना है. तो मुझे लगता है फैंस बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट.
In football, 50% is the emotions, 50% is the feelings, and when exists supporters and the supporters are close to you and send the message positive. For me, the supporters is come here to go and close to the players. This is fantastic. This is fantastic for our job. This is fantastic for the players.
अब 2 years के बाद अपन को चांस मिल रहा है कि आगे जाके स्टेडियम में देखेंगे फाइनल. So it will be a great opportunity for all of us. सो बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा फिर फाइनल देखने के लिए. We support HFC.
It will be an absolute honor for us and the city. For the first time, we will reach our first finals of ISL. It will be a huge. It will be, of course, it will be a huge game, and we'll support till the end. Go HFC!
It really helps the team to perform even much more better when the fans are there, when hearing them cheering for the players, and it's like an extra motivation to the players.
You can already feel it, and we will try to recreate what we usually do in the JLN Stadium. So we are hoping for a really good result, and the fans are really excited to watch the team and hopefully win it all.
Come on guys, you are always tremendous, and you guys are always cheering up on the social media. You have never let us down, so I hope that we are going to make it to the finals, and you are going to come there to support us.
Please come there everyone, and give your support to us, and thank you for everything. We're gonna give our best.
It'll be absolutely amazing to see that 12th man in person there in the stands. And Mace, you know that just in regular league stage matches, having that 12th man means so much. But imagine it's a finals, and after 2 long seasons, they'll be in the stands. What could this mean for the teams?
Well, I hope there's more than one, because if that was the 12th man, so we're hoping that there's thousands allowed back in. But again, depending on the regulations and the restrictions. Listen, football is about one thing. It is about the fans. No matter what you say, it's the love-hate relationship that they all have. It's the pride, it's the passion, it's the desire with their team. And players, when they take to the field of play, feel that from the fans. They feel, and it gives them that little bit of an edge. We've seen it all over the country and in all the different stadiums, that when the fans are there, and if they get behind a winning team and a team that's doing well, it makes it a total different ballpark. So it's great that the fans are allowed back in, and we can't wait. Let's be honest about that, Prad. We really can't wait for them to come back and support everything.
Yeah, it happened 2 years ago, I think, when Owen Coyle's team was there, and there were no fans in it, and then ever since then, the final especially, it has to have that atmosphere. And the teams that make it, tickets have gone on sale now. People are going to show up, and I think the capacity is, the government's allowed 100%, so that's a great thing. So it will be good to see it packed to the rafters, because that changes everything. It changes the referee's decision. It changes like the challenges that go in. You put a crunching challenge in a final, and then the crowd lifts up. It changes the whole dynamics. The little battles between two benches that we sometimes see, all that gets heated up. So it just spices the whole thing up, and that's exactly what we need to be, the perfect finale for the season.
And also, Prad, we know that at times when the team is trailing, to just equalize, to get a winning goal, the fans have played such a huge role. And you know which teams I'm actually talking about. The players have come up to us post-match and said it's the fans that spurred us on. Even for the opposition, it's kind of intimidating that sometimes, the fans of the opposite team kind of, intimidate them. It's going to be so important to the players out there.
Well, sometimes it can work both ways. I think as players, sometimes you like to go to venues where there's a crowd, even if it's not your home team supporting them, or you don't have majority thing. It's the fact that they're there. Players are entertainers. They love to sort of put on a show. And all of a sudden, even if you can silence the crowd as well, that gives players, especially the big players, they come alive in those situations. So I think, whichever teams are there, players are going to really appreciate it and enjoy it.
It's a proper buzz, honestly. What he's just said there, it's a buzzkill. It really is. When you can silence the opposition fans, that is absolutely magical and wonderful, because all of a sudden you can hear a pin drop and you're celebrating all on your own. But then what happens inevitably when the ball goes back for the kickoff is you get the biggest roar from those home fans to try and get behind the team. If you can get the team or the fans against their own team because they've conceded a goal and there's some booing and jeering going on, all of a sudden it gives you the box seat as well. But to have that banter, to have that ability in the stands, to have that transferred onto the pitch where the players feel that energy, and they do feel the energy. We talked to Eric Partaloo, years ago. I've felt it when you're out there on the pitch.
Yeah.
When people are booing and calling you nice names and that, you want to prove them wrong and you want to show them, prove a point. So the fans, they're everything to the Hero ISL.
Yes, I remember Eric, one of his pre-match interviews, actually did turn around and say that all I want to do is silence these fans. It's not intimidating. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your thoughts and your inputs. That's all we have on this episode of Football United. Remember, the fans are back in the stands for the finals this season of the Hero Indian Super League. Cheer on your team. Be there for sure. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.